Hello and welcome to the Run Testers. My name's Nick and this is our first run review of the Hoka Mach Supersonic. So I went out this morning and did a hard workout in the shoe where I was aiming to do a 10k alternating 340 and 320 per k pace. Didn't quite go to plan, but more on that later. This video is brought to you in partnership with Precision Fuel and Hydration, and I thought it was a good opportunity to talk about fueling this kind of daily training correctly. So many of us are getting better at fueling our long runs and races well, but still kind of let it slide when it comes to our daily training and kind of workouts like this in the week. You still need to be kind of fueling your body correctly for these workouts, not only so you kind of can get through them successfully, but also thinking about the rest of your day. Like, you know, we're not elite athletes, so we're not going to go and have a rest afterwards. For example, after my workout today, I had to go and attend a children's birthday party that lasted 3 hours. You do not want to go into that running on empty. If you head to the Precision Fuel and Hydration website, you'll find not only all the products you need to kind of support your training, but also advice articles and calculators that can help you work out the kind of exact amount of carbs and electrolytes you need to nail all the important runs, whether they're kind of your daily training or indeed those big races. Now, let's learn some more about the Hoka Mach Supersonic. So the Hoka Mach Supersonic is a limited release that's kind of designed to be kind of a relative to the Hoka Mach 4. That was a very popular shoe that launched last year, a shoe that I liked very much, as did several other run testers. It's basically built to be a slightly kind of more speed-focused version of the Mach 4. Now, it comes a little bit more expensive than the Mach 4. It's £140 in the UK or $150 in the US, whereas the Mach 4 was £125 in the UK. It's got the kind of the same drop and stack. It's got a 5mm drop from heel to toe, and it's kind of 29mm at the heel and 24mm at the forefoot. Interestingly, it's slightly heavier than the Mach 4, which is a surprise given that it is a speed-focused shoe, but my UK size 9 weighs 247 grams, which is 8.7 ounces, whereas the Mach 4 in the same size weighs 236 grams. You've got an engineered jacquard mesh upper that's kind of a little bit actually thicker and maybe slightly stiffer and more supportive than the upper on the Hoka Mach 4. Also actually got quite a bit more cushioning on the tongue, which again I found a bit surprising if this was meant to be a kind of more propulsive, speedy shoe. Obviously adds a bit of weight there, but you know, it's a nice feeling. It does help create that kind of lockdown around the midfoot. You've got this really exaggerated pull tab. I never really use pull tab to put on shoes, but if you do, look at that, you've got a lot of pull tab to use. And the laces are a normal length, which is, you know, not normally something I have to mention with running shoes, but the ones on the Hoka Mach 4 were crazy long, and these are normal, so that's good. You've got an EVA kind of sock liner, and then the big change from the Mach 4 is in the midsole. So you've still got a dual density midsole, which Hoka previously has called its ProFly midsole. This is ProFly Plus. And the kind of big change is in the upper layer, which is a slightly firmer, maybe some kind of more responsive foam than the one on the Mach 4. It feels firmer to the touch, definitely, and on the foot as well, I found. It's still EVA material, though, throughout the shoe. It's just they've kind of tweaked their various formulations to create what should, in theory, be a kind of more responsive, faster feeling underfoot thanks to that new top layer. You've still got the kind of rubberized outsole on the shoe, which was a little bit of a problem with the Mach 4, I found. I was hoping to do loads and loads of miles in the Mach 4 last year and give a long-term review of the shoe because I was worried about durability, but simply because of the amount of shoes we had in to review, I didn't manage to do that, but it was showing, you know, fairly significant signs of wear after around 120k. Whereas, you know, with a full rubber outsole, I kind of rarely see that. So that probably will be a concern with the Mach Supersonic as well. When it comes to fit, it was good for me, true to size. I had a nice amount of room in the toe box and a good secure hold around the kind of midfoot and heel, maybe even a better hold around the midfoot than the Mach 4 because the tongue is that little bit thicker and kind of cushier. I have a fairly narrow foot, so I've always kind of got on with Hoka's toe boxes, but I know some people do find a little bit narrow, but yeah, the Supersonic was perfectly good for me, true to size. So just heading off to do first run in the Hoka Mach Supersonic. I've got a pretty hard run this morning, do a nice long warm up and then do a 10k alternating 340 and 320 pace. So I loved obviously the Hoka Mach. This is the kind of run I think that would have been a really good test for the Mach. I always quite liked it for long hard runs, but moving up to kind of higher speeds like this with, you know, wasn't necessarily its strong point, even though it could do it. So I wonder if the Mach Supersonic's going to be any better at it, seeing as it is billed as a slightly kind of punchier version of the Mach. So yeah, it's a nice crisp morning, great weather for it. Gonna go enjoy the run and report back on the shoe along the way. So I've just run 5k and everything's not feeling quite in gear at the moment, so I'm not sure about pushing on too far with this. kind of was on pace for those first ones, but not really recovering on the 340s, which is normally the kind of what happens. You recover on the 340, then run the 320 pretty hard. So I'm gonna have a little break. I might start the second 5k, see how that goes, but if not, I'll just kind of jog home. But yeah, the shoes been okay. It's certainly got the same kind of nice roll to it as the Mach. It's got a firmer feel, I definitely would say that, but it's got the roll. I'm not sure that's translating to a massive improvement in like kind of toe off pace or anything like that. The Mach 4 always felt nice and springy to me, but it doesn't feel bad at all. It's significantly worse, but I haven't noticed a massive kind of uptick in that kind of propulsion from the new foam compound. But yeah, it's certainly got the kind of same pretty smooth ride, but slightly firmer. Anyway, yeah, I'll see you back at home now. Either I'm gonna do for a long warm down, or I'll have another little go at some of this running. So I ended up running the second 5k, but basically eased off on the float recoveries. So I ran the 320s fine, and then I just ran the floats on feel and kind of, I think it's like a 350 and a 4. So it's good to get through the volume, not really as intense. That shouldn't have been that hard a session, but oh well, you never know. Something's probably rumbling under the surface a little bit. Shoes, yes, they're probably similar to what I said after the first 5k there. Yeah, they've got the speed in them. They've got a good roll to them. They certainly firmer than the Mach, but don't feel massively explosive. There's no plate or anything in there. I feel like maybe Hoka had a shoe that does this job in their lineup already in the Rocket X, which, you know, I've used for that kind of session. It works really well for that. It's a bit lighter, got the plate in there. So yeah, not blown away by the Supersonic. It was quite enjoyed it today. I'll jog home now, and then I'll have a little think and do a little early verdict on it. But yeah, it did a solid job. It works for this kind of training. It's just doesn't strike me as a 100% necessary shoe as of now. So overall, I had a reasonably solid first outing in the Mach Supersonic. Like, it didn't let me down, it didn't feel terrible, it felt fast. I got through that kind of workout in a slightly different way than I originally intended, but I was still pleased with the morning session. But it still really has left me thinking about whether this is a shoe that Hoka really needs to release, and whether it's a shoe that I'd really advise anyone to buy. You know, it is a little bit firmer than the Mach 4, it's probably a little bit quicker, it's probably a little bit less comfortable, but you know, they're still fairly similar shoes in the way they ride. They've got, you know, a nice rockered, rolling ride, but this has got a little bit of that kind of more responsive feel there. That probably does make it more suited to the workouts that like the ones I did this morning in it, which probably would have been a little bit of a stretch in the Mach 4. Like, looking back at kind of my notes from when I reviewed that shoe, I did some hard workouts, but actually I didn't spend a lot of time kind of below 320 per K pace, and that actually felt fairly comfortable in this shoe for long stretches today. However, the difference isn't that vast, and the Mach 4 is more comfortable, and kind of that makes it a slightly better kind of daily training shoe that can handle, you know, easy runs as well. You know, whereas this is more of a speed focused shoe and just then can't match up to some of the shoes in that category, like from Hoka and other brands. Like, you've got the Rocket X, which is exactly same price, which has a carbon plate in it and is lighter, and I think is a really great kind of speed session kind of training shoe, even if it can't, you know, match up to the best carbon plate racing shoes. But I would certainly use the Rocket X over the Mach Supersonic as a speed shoe in my rotation, if that's what you're looking at this for. And then obviously if you look to other brands, there's the Saucony Endorphin Speed 2, always going to mention that. Maybe the Skechers Razor XS, the new version of that has a 4-foot plate. I haven't tried that yet. You know, there's lots of shoes out there that are really good fast trainers, and I think what I really liked about the Mach was that it was fast, it was fun, it had a fantastic like kind of mellow, relaxed ride, but could still go fast and was great for long runs as a result. Whereas this loses a bit of the comfort you got from the Mach 4 without becoming, you know, a tremendously excellent speed shoe. So it kind of just struggles to stand out, whereas the Mach 4 did. And it was also helped on that front by coming in with a pretty reasonable price of £120, where this has stepped that up, and again that makes it less attractive to me. But you know, overall I did enjoy the workout today. You know, it was a good shoe to use. I look forward to doing loads more testing in it, and maybe it will end up being a kind of firmer version of the Mach that plenty of people could use as a general trainer, whilst it has that little bit more pop for speed sessions. Like, I didn't find it uncomfortable at all on kind of warm-ups and cool-downs today, so you know, maybe there is something there. But yeah, overall, it's after one run, I am kind of thinking that, did Hoka really need to bother here? You know, the Mach 4's great, the Rocket X is great, those two work quite well in tandem, and this shoe muddies the water a bit without really bringing anything tremendously new to the table. Okay, that's it guys. That's our quick first review of the Hoka Mach Supersonic. We will be coming back with a full multi-test review down the line, as a couple of the other run testers do have the shoe. Yeah, please do head to the Precision Fueling and Hydration website and kind of use their tools to kind of work out your fueling and hydration needs for kind of daily training and those long runs. There's a link below in the caption, along with a code that can get you a bit of a discount at Precision Fueling and Hydration. Please do like, subscribe, ring the little bell, and yeah, we'll see you next time.